Break it down now.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Good Monday morning to you. And I use the word good loosely. It is a numbers game right here at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM Channel 158. Did I forget Game Plus? I might have forgotten Game Plus in there.
We never forget about you, Game Plus. Thank you for watching.
Gill Alexander. That right there is
Not our hearts.
That right there is Kelley Bydlon, ladies and gentlemen. Kelley Bydlon. Guessing lines for week number 6. About to start here as we look for value in the upcoming week's lines. But I think we have to start with this. Hit it, B.
I'm a survivor.
Yeah, I'm done. You got one left, right?
I got one left. I thought you went with like one on Indy. I didn't even know until right before the show.
I had 2 on the Rams. I had 3 on the Cardinals, and I had 1 on the Billiards. At least the Bills lost legit. At least that one was legit. At least that one was a poor handicap.
At least it wasn't insane. Yeah.
No. Oh my God. We're gonna recap everything from yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Let's just start with this because we'll get to the recap of every game, including the Cardinals game, as it comes up on the schedule for Week 6, as is our plan to do every week. But I will just say this: that was I've in 2020 again famously lost in Week 14 on the Rams as a 17-point home favorite to the Jets. There will never be another. There's likely not to be another survivor loss with a pre-flop line like that. But in terms of what happened during a football game, the circumstances of that Cardinals loss, that's the worst beat in the history of Survivor, at least the 6 years of Circa Survivor, never to be topped. Never to be topped. There will be nothing close to that. We'll go through the horrible details of it, as I'm sure I will in every painstaking detail coming up.
You know what's the amazing thing about these contests? So I didn't have a bet. I didn't have Survivor. I didn't have millions involved in that game, right? Yeah. I had bets, millions involved with Seattle, Tampa Bay. So I am so locked into that game.
Of course, as you should be.
Right? Just like I'm sure the rest of America was for the most part, where I'm only catching out of the side of my eye like, oh, did that really just happen in Arizona? Did that really just happen in Arizona? By the time I get to it, it's like, what is happening here?
Oh, it's beyond belief. We had carnage finally this year. Week 5. Took 5 weeks, but we got our carnage. Of the remaining entries headed into this week, and I understand we have one game left still tonight between the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Chiefs 3.5-point favorites at Jacksonville tonight. But of the remaining entries that entered Week 5 to this point, 62.36% of those remaining entries got knocked out Thursday and yesterday. For the season now, through 5 weeks minus 1 game, 75.06% of all entries have been knocked out. Now, in the 6-year history of Survivor, that only locks in at the 4th most, Kelley. It's only the 4th most. The last 3 years, considerably more in a couple cases.
Well, we've been slow the first few weeks.
We've been slow, but we've clipped the pace now of the first 2 years of this, after this carnage. 4,669 of the initial 18,718 entries remain heading into tonight. And Kelley Bydlon, you got one of them.
Got one of them.
You got the Colts?
One single one
Good
left.
For you.
Lost on Rams.
What could go wrong between now and the end of the year?
I'm sure nothing, Gill.
You're good. You're good to go. Congratulations. By the way, for all y'all who have the 4,669, congratulations. You're through a quarter of the season. I know not all quarters are created equal because there's a Thanksgiving and there's a Christmas, and that one's a little more difficult. But, hey.
Dude.
Good for you.
I've been playing it this long enough now.
Yeah.
This is outside of 1 year of getting to week 7. This is the farthest I've ever gotten. So it might sound ridiculous, but like you just said, I am thankful to still be alive.
It's the greatest contest there is. And like I said, usually when you lose, you're just, it's the worst thing in the world. And it is the worst thing in the world. Believe me, I really wish I was still in this. It's not, by the way, it's the weekly process of having skin in the game, going through the mental gymnastics of it. That's what you miss the most when you're out of this. Forget about the money, because the money was already paid in the offseason. You don't really care about that. It's the having skin in the game part that's the problem. Where was I going with that comment? Oh, but it's still the greatest game in the world. And like we were just saying off air, you didn't necessarily win some of your bets, but in the end, you still have one survivor and ultimately have a smile on your face.
It's been a bizarre couple weeks from that standpoint because, Survivor the past couple weeks have been fairly easy, but then it's just getting my teeth kicked in, betting in millions, and you're like, well, that sucked, but yeah, at least I'm through. Did you see Grandissimo?
Oh, okay, yeah. That I was going to say it could be worse. I could have a Grandissimo.
Right,
Cardinals.
Yeah. Enter the week with 55 still alive, down to 16.
I think Crack lost his.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. We'll find out on Thursday.
They had 30 on the Cardinals, or 35 on the Cardinals and Rams.
36.4, but there's in Grandissimo, the Cardinals were the most, 36.4%, 20 of the I guess their percentages are of the remaining entries, I guess. They don't do it the way I do it.
Yeah.
20 were on the Cardinals, 15 were on the Rams. Bingo bango. Lions are had 10, Colts had 5. Bills had 4. Those are gone. Vikings won, but the Vikings they escaped also for Vikings players.
That Vikings guy today.
Oh, my God.
Where's a live shot of him? I want to see him celebrate today.
Escape is what that was. Yeah. Anyway, back to the Survivor Classic. Actual retail value of each of the remaining 4,669. Not actual retail value. Well, it is retail value, I guess.
Yeah.
Intrinsic value. $4,009 on the button. That's how much you got in that entry, Kelly.
I'm rich.
I'm rich, y'all. 4,009. Good for you.
Now
not so good for me.
The ticket's not going up for auction yet. It might in a couple weeks, though. We'll see.
We'll see. How about, again, just back to those percentages for a second, if we could, for the history of Survivor. Remember, after 5 weeks last year, I just want to put this on. I don't want to gloss over this fact. 98.6% of entries were gone at this point last year. 98.45%.
It's insane.
And those were 221 left, and somehow a handful of those got to the finish line. It's incredible. That's the most amazing Survivor year there ever was. And by the way,
yeah, what was the stretch where how few got eliminated? Like it, because remember, like mid-season,
from this point to the end, it was just stagnation.
That was almost as crazy as the first 5 weeks.
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely was. By the way, they're doing a Circus Survivor 3, I think, and he wants me to do part of this documentary on Wednesday. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in a great mood to do this. Maybe I should just curse right off the top. I won't have to do it again. Before we get into, we'll dive into all the games starting with Thursday night here after the break. But I was on Should Have Bet More, Will Hill's podcast last night. He was kind enough to have me on. And one of the questions he asked was, and I started thinking about it again this morning because he asked it, and I had to come up with an answer on the spot. But he's like, beyond that, what was the biggest takeaway of all of them in week 5 of the NFL? And so I was answering on the spot, obviously, and I'm rifling through. I'm like, well, the Bills were halfway through. I was like, yeah, Bills are about as vulnerable as I thought they were, right? Not a spectacular football team, a very good football team. They have Sean McDermott's greatest talent is that he has Josh Allen, right? Like, yeah. I just think that's that team. It's always been that team.
Just like I think it's becoming very evident that Zach Taylor's biggest strength is that he had Joe Burrow.
The Ravens are so banged up that, what's the biggest surprise from the preseason till now? Like, if we went back and we told our preseason selves, what's the biggest surprise? We'd have to explain to ourselves that the Ravens are 1-4. We'd of course have to talk about injuries, but and Will made the point, is like, you don't even have to go back to the beginning of the season. Imagine being up on Buffalo 15 points in week 1 and then telling that person you'd be 1-4. So
it's all been bad for them, though, right?
It's all been bad.
You are right. You'd have to explain injuries, but
what did we learn? What have we learned the most from yesterday's action or from Thursday's action? And I think the answer was because everything else, Tampa Bay seems like the team of destiny. They win all these games in cardiac fashion. That keeps going on. The Eagles are the Super Bowl champions, and they're good, but their offense is so mediocre. That's the same. So you have to kind of search for something, right? You're sort of like, and by the way, there's like a quarter of the teams in this league that stink, right? We have like 6 to 8 teams that are just god awful.
Yeah.
And you know what my answer ended up being? And this will sound like homerism here. I think Jayden Daniels coming back for Washington and that team being elevated might have been the biggest sort of reminder from yesterday. That might have been the biggest thing where it's like, oh, yeah, they're good with that kid. They're really good. Mm-hmm. And he somehow, I don't know if you know this, Kelley, he doesn't play defense. Somehow the defense seems to play better when he's around also, right? They step up. All of a sudden, they're generating turnovers. Now, the Chargers had a lot to do with that. They had injuries, and they made mistakes left and right. Chargers were charging for sure as well. But of all the games yesterday, I think that was sort of the biggest reminder. Let's put it that way, because everything else kind of played out as you're like, oh, yeah, I see that coming.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I'll circle. I've got one boring one for you, and I got one hot takey one for you, okay? Brought this up last week. And I think yesterday was probably a better example than any other week we've seen so far of, man, there's not many good teams, and the good teams are way closer to the pack than we thought they were. And I will say that I know you said there's a bunch of bad teams, but I kind of look at that as the pack. And it's like some of those teams that we thought, like the Saints, were going to be atrocious. Some of these teams, I think they're a little bit better than we maybe thought heading into the season.
You know how I feel about the Saints. I had them in a bet yesterday, and I didn't put them in my bottom five before when we did our bottom five power rankings. By the way, what you're saying is reflected in the standings. There are no undefeateds anymore after 5 weeks. No, they're already popping champagne in Miami.
Yep.
And only one winless, the Jets. That's it. So you basically, besides the Jets, everybody's 1 to 4 to 4 to 1.
You want my hot take answer to this?
Yes.
Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback in football right now.
12 to 1 MVP. Would you take it?
Maybe. I wouldn't hate anybody who did.
I mentioned it a week or two ago. It's like how many cardiac comeback wins can you have?
It's incredible.
Before you can't ignore it anymore.
Yeah. We're at that point.
Yeah. We'll get to all the games, beginning with Thursday Night Football Week 6, guessing lines, right here on a Numbers Game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Did you know your credit card points and miles can lose value to inflation? Credit card companies often reduce the redemption value of your points and miles. Now, imagine a credit card with rewards that can grow in value. With the Gemini credit card, you can earn Bitcoin or one of over 50 other cryptos instantly with no annual fee. Every swipe at the store or gas pump earns you instant rewards deposited straight to your account. Plus, sign up now for a $200 Bitcoin bonus to kickstart your rewards. Visit Gemini.com/card today. Check out the link in the description for more information on rates and fees. Again, if you're looking to invest in Bitcoin but don't know where to start, the Gemini credit card makes it easy.
If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans, help is here. More and more Americans turn to credit cards to get by. National Debt Relief is helping qualified clients reduce what they owe. For many, continuing to struggle making minimum monthly payments could take years to pay off. National Debt Relief has already helped over 550,000 Americans reduce their debt by negotiating directly with their creditors. When you call, you'll be amazed at how much you can save and how quickly you can become debt-free. If you want off the debt treadmill, visit nationaldebtrelief.com today. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may qualify for significant debt relief. To find out what savings you may qualify for, simply visit nationaldebtrelief.com. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
As the season settles in, the NFL market gets sharper. Finding edges isn't easy, but that's where VSiN Pro comes in. Right now, you can save 40% on our football season special with a numbers game promo code ANG.
ANG as in a numbers game.
You'll get VSiN Pro access to everything we do across every sport from now through the Super Bowl. That means daily best bets and expert ROI leaderboard, DraftKings and Circa betting splits in real time, AI-powered NFL prop projections to highlight value versus sportsbook lines, weekly wide receiver cornerback /cornerback matchup tool, and our NFL prop analyzer, 24/7 live video on the VSiN Watch app, plus our NBA betting guide comes out tomorrow. Oh boy, don't wait. Lock in 40% off today with promo code ANG at VSiN.com/subscribe. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Jesse Welch. Look at us, Gilly. My Pats and your Commodores have their franchise quarterbacks for sure. Two fan bases that have been starved for success for a certain period of time. We finally made it. Your franchise is not like mine. It's very, very smug of you, Jesse.
A few Super Bowls in between there.
You've been so starved. Kyle D. So it turns out Jonathan Gannon is a big fan of punching a horse twice while it's down. Trace Fields, after watching Week 3, 2023 of VSiN Gill's Survivor Selection Show, I signed up in back-to-back years, losing both to uncontested fumbles as large home favorites. Now I'm laughing like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I have to sulk for 11 more months? Yeah, man. Ronnie Roach responding to Jesse Welch saying, it's like a rich celebrity saying they know what it feels like to be poor. Bob C-137, if you call off from work today, I get it. If you somehow go in and recap all the madness that led to your Survivor manslaughter, my respect for you at least triples. And blank and Cardinals. I'll be saying that randomly for a while, I think. Chris Heath, I felt so smart pivoting off the Rams. Didn't have the Bills. Split my final two on the Seahawks and Cardinals. So long, Survivor. Until next year. Las Vegas 514, yo. 72 Dolphins popping bottles last night, knowing they'll remain the only undefeated NFL team in history. Do you think this will be eclipsed in our lifetime? Maybe young Kelley's lifetime? Yeah, I think it could be one day. Not for any of these, but I don't know. Pete Rozell's dream of parody, never more evident than it is this year. So it doesn't appear to be on the horizon. Let's put it that way. All right, let's get into it. Week 6 guessing lines in the National Football League. You know my favorite kind of tweet is on a day like this? Tommy at E44Teddy. My favorite thing is the cottage industry of Survivor experts who probably learned everything they know about Survivor from listening to us and then regurgitated it back to us. He goes, split the entries between the sure things, huh? Play and eat safe. Good strategy. That's what he says. Yeah, completely ignoring the circumstances of both games with the Rams and the Cardinals. But you go ahead, Tommy. I'm sure you'll win it.
Bunch of Captain Hindsights out there, man.
Captain Hindsight.
It's great to have 20.
I hope you're happy with yourself. All right, what's first?
All right, Thursday Night Football. Eagles at Giants.
All right, Eagles fall from the ranks of the undefeated. They lose to the Denver Broncos. 3-3 game. Philly with the ball for the. This was the third. The third time they had the ball. 3-3 game. 3rd and 17 at their own 22. Hurts deep to Devontae for 52, and after a PI. At the 2, Hurts to Goddard from 2 out, 10-3 Philly, a little more than halfway through the second quarter. In the second half, first time Philly gets the ball, 4 plays, 74 yards. Hurts to Saquon from 47 out, 17-3 Philly, first couple minutes of the third quarter. And you're like, well, they're just going to do it again, aren't they? Sporadic offense, but when they have the sporadic offense, they matriculate it. 17-3 Philly. Denver then. A little later, 64 yards. Dobbins in from 2, 17-10 Philly. It's the beginning of the fourth quarter. Denver cuts it to 17-10. Then the next time, after another Philly 3 and out, Denver, 6 plays, 72 yards. Nicks to Sutton for 34. Then Nicks to Ingram from 11 out to close the drive. 17-16 with 7:36 left in the fourth quarter. And then Sean Payton says, hey, guess what? Instead of kicking the extra point to tie this, let's go for 2. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, I like it.
Knicks to Troy Franklin, 2-point conversion. Good. 18-17 Broncos. Again, just a little more than halfway left in the fourth quarter. Philly 3 and out after an illegal man downfield, an illegal shift on what would have been a 4th down conversion deep to Smith, but those get nullified. They only punt it 24 yards. Then Denver has the ball. Philly can't get them off the field. A big unnecessary roughness call on 3rd and 2 at the Philadelphia 29. That only went 1, but instead it extends the drive. It forces Philly to use their last timeout, goes past the 2-minute warning. Lutz adds a 36-yard field goal to make it 21-17 with only 1:11 left. And then Philly taking over at their own 26 with 1:06 left after a sack, a 7-yard pickup, incomplete. Then 4th and 7 at their own 29. A PI gets called correctly. Then Hurts to Dotson for 24. They're at the Denver 29 with 9 seconds to go. Incomplete. Then with 3 seconds left, Hurts to the end zone. Incomplete. Ball game. Eagles' first loss in 287 days since they lost to the Skins.
Yeah, it's a bad one, man.
Philly with errors. I mean, a lot of penalties. Key penalties in that game. Hurts, by the way, 23 of 38 for 280. Smith, 8 catches for 114. And then the Giants. They're playing at the Giants Thursday night. Giants lose to the New Orleans Saints in a game that was remarkable in the fact that the Giants turned the ball over 5 times on 5 consecutive drives. I'm not even mad at you, Baxter. I'm impressed. Giants led this game 7-0. First drive, 59 yards. Dart to Theo Johnson from 1 out, 7-0. It'd be 7-3 when the Giants would go 8 plays, 70 yards. Dart to Theo Johnson from 15 out, 14-3. Then at 14-6, things started to shift. New Orleans 1 play, Rattler to Rashid Shaheed for 87, 21.72 miles per hour for Shaheed, a top speed, fastest touchdown of the year. 14-13 Giants with 5:16 left in the second quarter. And then later in that quarter, here's where the Here's where the turnovers begin. Giants first and 10 at the New Orleans 44. Dart to Slayton for 9, hit by Demario Davis. He fumbles, recovered by Jonas Sanker on the fly, who returns it 27 yards. Saints would add a field goal before the end of the half. Saints led it 16-14 at halftime. So again, they were down 14-3. It's 16-14. They had reversed it by halftime. That's the first turnover for the Giants. First time they get the ball in the second half. 4th and 1 at their own 45. Robinson for 2, but 3 plays later. 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 43. Dart untouched. Fumbles recovered by Cameron Jordan. New Orleans from their own 46. That led to a Group A field goal, 19-14, a little more than halfway through the third. Giants matriculate again, first play, fourth quarter. 2nd and 7 at the New Orleans 12. Scatabo, tackled by Brian Brees, strips it. Jordan Howden, full sprint, 86 yards to pay dirt. 26-14, Saints, first seconds of the fourth quarter. That's 3 in a row. Giants, 4th and 6 at the New Orleans 38. Dart picked deep by Kool-Aid McKinstry. Then after a New Orleans punt. Giants, 4th and 3 at their own 43. Dart for 6, but 2nd and 20 at their own 39. Dart picked by McKinstry again. 5 straight possessions, 5 straight turnovers. You ain't winning games like that. The Saints would add a field goal. They win it 26-14. That's the... that was already 26-14. Group A would miss a 46-yard field goal later, and then the Giants would eventually turn it over on downs. That was your final. Philly at the Giants. I don't think this is going to be... this shouldn't be that high of a spread. I said Philly minus 5.5. I put it in no man's land. I don't think this should be more than that.
Man, I agree with you that we might have decisions to make this week. This opened Eagles 7.
Ooh.
Pretty much across the board. We are out to 7.5, basically, everywhere.
Is Wayne Brady going to have to take the Giants?
I'm with you. There's no way I could lay that with Philly. I don't even know if I'll be comfortable working that into a teaser this week.
No. Again, are you going to turn the ball over 5 straight times? Probably not. Is it a rookie quarterback against the Philly, those defensive stalwart players? Yes, it is. But
yeah,
that's a lot of points on the road for a Philly team that really can't generate that much offense.
I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? It's still rookie quarterback going against a very good defense. But, man, this Eagles offense right now, I got no idea what they're doing. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we saw them not pass the ball at all the second half. And yesterday, was all they were doing was throw the ball over the place. Can't get a running game going right now. I
don't get that line. 7.5, huh?
Yeah. I'm not shocked by it, but...
Dart, 26 of 40 for 202. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 7 carries for 55 yards. You do lose a fumble. But again, the Giants minus 5 in turnovers. You're not winning games like that.
Yeah.
That's the first one. Well, 7.5. I'm not racing to bet it, but I might bet it by the end of the show. Yeah. I think I might have to.
I had it basically right where you did.
Should we do one more here?
You want to try a squeeze?
Yeah.
So London, early next week in London, Broncos against the Jets.
Oh, we're in London again.
Yes.
Denver, we just talked about. Knicks, 24 of 39 for 242 in the Broncos win over the Eagles. And then the Jets. The Jets are not good at football. They're the only winless team now. It was a 3-3 game, and it just went bad from there. They punted 4th and 5 at the Dallas 43. So they decided we're going to punt away, and then it was just a Dallas fest from that point forward. 13 plays, 85 yards. Dak to Ferguson, 10-3. Jets then 1st and 10 at 23. Brees for 10. He's hit by Maris. Liufau fumbles, recovered by Sam Williams, and then Dallas went from their own 9 all the way to the house, 91 yards, to make it 17-3. The next time Dallas got the ball, it was 23-3, and the route was on. The only surprise there is that Aubrey doinked an extra point. They end up winning it 37-22. A lot of garbage touchdowns by the Jets. They were never in this. I will say Denver minus 6 on the road at the Jets.
You're light again, 7 to 7.5 on this game.
All right, that one I'm probably wrong about. That one 7 sounds.
It feels
better.
high too.
A little bit. That's why I guess 6, but okay. I'd rather, given the 2, I'd rather bet the Giants. Let's put it that way. Coming back, guessing lines, looking for value.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
VSiN Pro subscribers now have exclusive access to our new AI player prop projections powered by Opta AI, the same trusted brand behind soccer analytics in the UK. You'll get AI-driven projections for quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs across the most popular prop categories, compared directly to current DraftKings lines to highlight value. Sort by player, gamer stat, and track how projections shift throughout the week with injury updates and team trends. VSiN Pro subscribers can see them now at VSiN.com/props. That's VSIN.com/props. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Best listeners in the game. Jacob Ellis from Wapisi Capital, responsible for Todd Wishnev's Purple Face. A couple times a year, I mentally ask myself, what am I doing betting on this stuff? This is one of those weekends. But also, as the great Will Hill would say, imagine not liking sports. Have a good week, fellas. Scuba Scott, you too, Jacob.
The NFL is just its own thing, Gill.
It really
It's been a rough couple of weeks, and guess what? I am backfiring last night and this morning.
Scuba Scott, I certainly hope the camera was rolling on the sportsbook this past weekend. This could be a whole episode in itself for next year's Circus Survivor Season 3 doc, pardon me. I'll even go so far as to offer a title for that episode, Heartbreak Hotel. Trip Tepper, if DeMarcado gets waived by Arizona, then Brian Callahan should demand the Titans sign him. Subsequently, he should be required to pay DeMarcado's entire 2025 salary as a thank you for saving Callahan's job. Sorry, Will Hill. That was the other thing about that game. Poor Will Hill with first coach to be fired on Callahan.
Such an awesome race this is turning into.
Oh, my God. Judd O'Connor, my biggest takeaway last night, you can't run on Vrabel teams. They have to be up there near the top on DVOA against the run. Haven't allowed a 60-yard rusher this year. Mike Alvarez. My preseason thoughts are 100% correct thus far. The Raiders are about the same as the Ravens. Jeff Isaacs. I took Baker MVP in the summer, 34-1, and every week I bet against him and realize I'm an idiot for it. Arn Diggity. Got to bag it up. I think I might need to pay someone to listen to my bad beats. I'm out of Survivor, lost 3 entries on Green Bay overtime game, 2 entries on the Rams overtime game, lost 2 entries on Arizona yesterday, and 1 entry when the Pats had 5 turnovers. Jeez.
Yeah.
Brian Schaefer, 31. Gil, do I have a shot in this Average Joe contest? I have 1 loss, and I have the Chiefs tonight. Has anyone won with 1 loss? I don't know.
Don't think so.
I don't think so.
I believe they've all been perfect.
Jesse Welch. Guys, Baker Mayfield absolutely could win an MVP in a year where Lamar and Burrow are both injured. He's beloved in the media these days, and he'll put up the stats. Not a dead ticket, I swear. Oh, no, we don't think it is at all. JDL_A, to shame the Titans win didn't occur in Nashville, because then we would have a sequel to the Todd Wishnev Yom Kippur Massacre story, and we could call it the Music City Meshuggah. John Massey. I had Arizona week 2 against Carolina for Survivor when they scared when they had a similar collapse with a big lead against the Panthers. Live bet Titans because of it. Still out. Switched entry from Bills to Rams. Oy vey. Bobby Geddes. I'm a diehard Patriots fan. I had Bills in Survivor. It was the most conflicted my sports mind has ever been. I'm still confused by it. Pats and Drake may look great, and I didn't even know how to be happy. Sports, man. And Jeff Kuykendall. Could you explain Sean Payton's decision to go for 2 with 7 minutes left? I would think at that point you kicked a tie. If you do not get the 2 points, you are down 1, and if you get it, which Denver did, you still need to pitch a shutout the rest of the game to make it worthwhile. What am I missing? Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised he did it.
There's a couple in the moment. I'm sure you're going to hit 1 or 2 for 4th down 2-point conversion decisions that in the moment, Gil, I was like, whoa. And then, they run it, and I'm like, no. I think I would have done that. The Sean Payton one's tough. Maybe it's him playing chess and the rest of us playing checkers. I doubt it, though. I'm probably not going to give Sean Payton that much credit. But if you don't get it, you're down 1, so you have the possibility. There's still a lot of time left. The Eagles go and score a touchdown. You're still within 1 score. Looks a lot better when it works out.
Of course it does. And if he misses and they lose, there's egg on his face.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Totally.
But the way it worked out, he looks great. I don't know, but to answer your question, is there a specific logic to it? No, he'll probably tell you that it's some analytics thing, or he could tell you the opposite. I don't know what Payton would say. That it was just a gut feel, right? The old gut feel, where you want to be ahead of this team, this Super Bowl champion team.
They had momentum rolling, Gil. Come on. Why stop it? I told you a note off the air.
Yeah.
Just to back this up on the Jets. The first team since at least 1933 to not have a takeaway in their first 5 games in the NFL.
It's amazing.
Why at least 1933? Because that's when they started tracking turnovers.
What's next?
All right, Sunday early window, Cardinals at Colts.
We have come to the Cardinals. Arizona at the Colts. Arizona begins the game, 8 plays, 67 yards. Kyler to Harrison Jr. for 43 over 2 defenders to the 1. 2 plays later, Michael Carter in from 1, 7-0 Cardinals, less than 5 minutes in. Sly would kick a 44-yard field goal to cut it 7-3, but then Arizona, next time they got the ball, 7 plays, 65 yards. Kyler to Harrison Jr. for 20 and 16 on the drive. Murray in from 12 on 3rd and 3, touchdown, 14-3 Cardinals. Later, Tennessee 1st and 10 at their own 26. Pollard hit by Akeem Davis-Gaither. Fumbles recovered by Baron Browning. Arizona set up at the Tennessee 27. 4 plays. Bam night in from the doorstep. 21-3 Arizona. It would be 21-6 Arizona at the half.
Cruising.
Wow, I didn't think it'd be this easy.
Titans stink. Can't do anything.
They really can't. Third quarter. By the way, there was plenty of those moments too, where like Tennessee was like, "Oh, you're punting? Oh, good." 21-6, third quarter. Arizona, first time they touch the ball from their own 25, they matriculate. Now, this is a play that's going to get lost in history in this game. But Kelley, here's where it starts. For those who didn't pay close attention, like yourself.
I was going to say, might be me.
3rd and 12 at the Tennessee 20. You're up 21-6, early third quarter. 3rd and 12 at the Tennessee 20. The snap, Kyler's in shotgun, hits Kyler in the face. He acts like he thinks it's going to be blown dead because it's like Tyson punched him in the face. He doesn't go to recover the ball. He's just like, the ball's on the ground. Draymond Jones recovers for Tennessee. Kyler, by the way, went to the locker room briefly after this. All right, Tennessee's doing Tennessee things, right? And they still don't go anywhere. 4th and 1 at their own 35. They punt. Brissett was in for 2 plays. Kyler got back in. Tennessee, next time they had the ball, 4th and 4 at their own 43. They punt again. Right? 21-6. It's just moving along. And yeah, Arizona's playing with its food a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Tennessee's not scoring. And here it gets even worse now. Arizona from their own 7. This is the beginning of the fourth. This is 12:51 left in the fourth quarter. Arizona from their own 7. They get it to 3rd and 1 at their own 28 with 12:51 left. Emari Demercado breaks it loose. 72 yards to the house, except for at 71. He flips the ball in the air before he gets to the goal line. First of all, it's one of these plays where, as you're watching it, as a guy who has the Arizona, as a guy who has Arizona and Survivor, you kind of even like lose concentration because you're like, oh, this is over, 28-6. By the way, I then looked back because L'Jarius Sneed of the Titans was gaining on him, and Demercado had no idea that he was gaining on him. But it didn't matter because Sneed didn't get there. Demercado just flipped the ball up in the air himself.
It's incredible.
Fumble, touchback. It remains 21-6. Oh, boy.
Do you know how many...
Emari Demercado after the game. Quote, I just made a mistake. There's really no excuse. Obviously emotional. Big play. But I just have to be smarter. You think?
Do you know how many coaches I heard yesterday, too? Like ex-coaches talk about how doesn't matter what level of the NFL you're at. When you see a mistake like we saw from Mitchell a couple weeks ago with this, every coach uses it as video for the next practice, as a teaching moment. Nope, we don't get it.
You know that kid from Tennessee that transferred to UCLA? Nico Iamaleava? You know how, like, in his name, Iamaleava, it's Iamaleava, it's I'm a leave you?
Yeah.
It's right in his name. You should have known he was going to leave you. Emari Demercado. If you say it really quickly, it's sort of like, I'm a real Demercado. Yeah, that was bad. I'm workshopping that one. Tennessee, of course, then turns everything around. From their own 26 plays, Ward to Ridley for 47, the big strike, Pollard in from 1, 21-12, and then Sly's extra point, wide right, maybe the worst extra point you'll ever see in your life. 10:26 left. It's still 9, though. So because he missed the extra point, you're like, okay, it's still more than one score. Arizona 3 and out. Tennessee from their own 19, 3rd and 2 at the Arizona 20. They matriculate. Ward, flush to his left. This is it, Kelley. Tennessee from their own 19. They get it to 3rd and 2 at the Arizona 20. Ward, flush to his left, against his body, deflected by Mack Wilson, picked by Dadrion Taylor Demerson. Yes, it's over. Arizona's going to win this. And Taylor Demerson then rolls over on the ground and fumbles untouched. Quarterback Keitrell Clark then kicks it with his left foot straight toward the end zone. Then he and 2 other Cardinals, Buda Baker and Demerson, descend on it, and somehow Clark then bats it forward with his right arm into the end zone. And of course, Tyler Lockett recovers it in the end zone, because of course he does, for his first ever Titans touchdown. 21-19 with 4:39 left. And then Arizona, 2nd and 8 with 3 minutes left. At their own, what is it? In their own territory. Michael Carter runs it in the line. 3rd and 8 with 2:12 left. Again, Demercado, they run it right into the line. What are you doing not passing there and trying to win the game? What are they doing? They punt, 2 minutes left. Tennessee with 1 timeout. Take over at their own 18. Ward to Pollard for 3. To Pollard for 4. To Gunnar Helm for 6. 2 plays later, to Ogankwu for 16. 1st and 10 at their own 47. Ward to Ridley for 38. Pollard for 11 to the 4. Sly, 29-yard field goal. Good. Tennessee, 22. Arizona, 21. 3,152 survivors out with it, including 3 of mine. The most improbable survivor loss in history. We'll get to that game on the other side. It's a numbers game.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a numbers game. Gill Alexander. Kelley Bydlon alongside, producer number 9. So much more than a producer. Let me just read a few tweets here on this. Blue Hen Bill, I heard you say Arizona was so untrustworthy at least a half dozen times this past week, yet you still took them. I had already used them, so I took the Lions. My condolences, my friend. Yep, Blue Hen Bill, that was me. That was me. I knew what I was getting into.
That is worth bringing up, though, of the amount of people like me and like you, Blue Hen Bill, that didn't, like, I couldn't even consider the Cardinals or Bills because I had already used them.
That's the quirk of Survivor. You get lucky based on that as well. Ryan Hyatt, fact. For those who had Arizona in Survivor, the fumble shall be known henceforth as the unholy roller. And James O'Connor, would the collective bargaining agreement allow an NFL team to fine a player $100,000 if they don't run through the end line with the ball? If not, what about cutting off one hand? It's also a possibility. That could be in the collective bargaining agreement. Let's just review last thing because we're going to get to these guessing lines even more now in rapid speed. Snap up 21-6, hits Kyler in the face. He barely reacts as the Titans recover. Okay. Demarcado then 71 of 72 yards before he flips the ball up in the air on the way to being 28-6 and Katie barred the door. Touchback. Then Ward, ball tipped, picked by Demerson, fumbles untouched. Cardinals kick it once, then bat it a second time into the end zone, or of course Tyler Lockett of all players, because of course Tyler Lockett recovers it for Tennessee. His first touchdown as a Titan, by the way. Then 2nd and 8 and 3rd and 8 in your own territory. They run the ball in the line. The 3rd and 8 play is unforgivable. All of that had to happen for the Cardinals to lose. It'll never be topped. It'll never be topped.
You want me to go my Demarcado rant real
Please,
quick here?
real quick. Okay.
So I think a lot of these, we get these goal line instances. A lot of like Mitchell, right? I think a lot of us are like, he's a kid, right? Like, it can't happen, but it's a kid. He'll get it together. Demarcado's in year 3. You've had, just think about his career, okay? 89 carries, 82 carries heading into this game. He had 3 touchdowns in his career.
This is such a great point.
He is in the Arizona backfield, buried down the depth chart at the beginning of the season. James Conner gets hurt. You have Trey Benson just gets put on IR. He is in the battle for a starting position on the Arizona Cardinals running back position. Goes down the field, has that happen. And it's just like, whatever.
And then you got my little buddy Owen, who's done nothing wrong ever in life, and these teams just completely mess with him, right? And cut him at the, you know how many people would die for that opportunity?
Like Demarcado, I don't know what this means. Hopefully, one play isn't how we judge your career going forward. But I'm sure there are going to be some coaches this week that think, hey, we're going to share some more carries around.
Arizona at Indianapolis. We don't have to go through Indianapolis. They destroyed the Raiders 40-6 in a game that was just easy peasy for those who had, like yourself, who had them in Survivor. The Colts are for reals. Colts don't have that, that Demarcado like Adonai Mitchell flipping the ball at the goal line thing. They might beat the Rams. Mm-hmm. They might be undefeated. I'll say the Colts -7 at home against the Cardinals.
Ooh, a little heavy on this one. Colts 5.5, 6.
See, I'll take the Colts there.
Mainly 6s, so you're going to want to get to 5.5 during the break.
I will lay that wood. That's crazy to me. How can they be less than 7? They're so much better than the Cardinals.
Yeah, that's one I didn't run to, but
I'm going to run to it.
I thought it was a little light as well.
All right, I'll be making bets on the next break. Next.
All right, Sunday early window, Chargers at the Dolphins.
All right, Chargers against Washington. Chargers, first time they have the ball. 3rd and 2 at their own 32. Herbert for 41. He is not shy to tuck it under and run this year. That ends up in a Dicker 28-yard field goal. But Sanistrill jumps all way offside on the field goal attempt, so it gives the Chargers new life. They take the points off the board. Herbert to McConkey from 2 outs, 7-0 Chargers, a little more than 5 minutes in. Then it would be 10-0 Chargers, and it just looked like they're just going to roll. Washington, just the travel was too much to the West Coast. Not so fast, my friend. Chargers, next time they get the ball, 2nd and 8 at the Washington 42. Herbert to Johnston for 16, stripped by Quan Martin. Marshawn Lattimore recovers. Wait a minute. Washington, 9 plays, 74 yards. Krosky Merritt in from 15, 10-7 Chargers, 4:15 left in the second quarter. And then Washington, pinned at their own 7. Then after a sack at their own 2, 3 and out, Tressway punts from deep inside the end zone. McConkey returns it to the house, but roughing the punter. So Washington gets the ball back. Jaden to McCaffrey for 50. Then 2 plays later to Debo for 22. 10-10. It leads to a Matt Gay 29-yard field goal, 10-10 at the half. That changed quickly. Third quarter, first time they get the ball. Opening drive. Washington, 7 plays, 69 yards. Jaden to Bill Krosky Merritt for 28, the big chunk. To Bill for 11. Then Bill in from 5. 17-10 Washington. 10:58 left in the third. Next time Washington would get the ball. Field goal, 20-10. Then Chargers, 4th and 2 at the Washington 38. They're rushing the play to the line of scrimmage. As the play clock goes down, incomplete. Chargers are charging. Next time the Chargers got the ball from their own 43. 3rd and 10, the Washington 42. Herbert to Johnston for 9. Somehow they give him 10. That was ridiculous. But 1st and goal at the 1. Ready for this? Incomplete. Kamari Vidal loses 3. Then 3rd and goal. Herbert picked at the goal line off a tip by Sanistrill. Washington from the 1 with 7:40 to go. They go 99 yards because Jaden is amazing. Although the Chargers do commit 2 huge penalties on the drive, an unnecessary roughness and a PI. So again, Chargers be chargering. Whole bunch of Bill Krosky Merritt. And then 4th and 7 at the Chargers 8. Jaden rolling back to Debo, touchdown. 27-10 DC Skins winner. Herbert, 22 of 28 for 166 in defeat. Sacked 4 times, twice by Dorrance Armstrong. And then there's Miami. I had Miami in my bottom 5 teams last week, but so too did I have Carolina. I said Miami and the Jets, mix them up 4th or 5th worst, whatever you want. Miami's up 3-0. And then Bryce does his first half thing. Carolina 2nd and 7 at the Miami 30. Bryce fumbles untouched. A lot of untouched fumbling yesterday. Bradley Chubb recovers. Miami 4th and 5 at the Carolina 40. Tua to Waller for 6. 7 plays later, Tua to Achane from 10 out. 10-0 Dolphins, early stages of the second quarter. Carolina down 10-0. 2nd and 6 at their own 32. Bryce airmail picked by Minka downfield. Miami at the Carolina 49. 5 plays to Waller for 21 to start. To Waller from 4 out. 17-0 Dolphins, Kelley. It's a blowout. 10:48 left in the second quarter. And then begins the Carolina portion of our evening.
They're so much better when they're just buried in a hole.
Got them right where you want them. Carolina 4th and 4 to Miami 47. Bryce to Teteroa McMillan for 20. 5 plays later, Bryce to Xavier Legette from 7 out. What a catch in the end zone. 17-7 Miami. It'd be 17-10 Miami at the half. Then 17-13. Fourth quarter, Carolina from their own 15. Down 4. 2nd and 6, their own 25. Dowdle for 43. What a game he had. Best player of the weekend, maybe, in the NFL. Yeah. Rico Dowdle. 43. Chop rolls over Bryce's legs and a D hold along the way. Dowdle in from 1, and the Panthers lead at 20-17 with 6:10 left. But Miami responds after Malik Washington 40-yard kickoff return. They set up at their own 43. 3 plays. 2 to Waddle behind the defense. Touchdown from 46 out. 24-20 Miami. 4:42 left in the fourth quarter. By the way, the play-by-play announcer for this game was the most annoying human being who's ever lived. Did you catch his act?
I not till this morning. Not till this morning when Rob Moreno let me know about it.
Oh, Rob Moreno said something?
Yeah.
What did he say? Same thing?
Yeah.
I've never heard a more annoying announcer.
It's the play-by-play announcer from the Hornets.
So, of course, I had to ask Jeff Parlay, Grover Cleveland, of producers on this show, and resident I know every announcer in every game. He tells me it's Eric Collins.
Yeah.
Eric Collins, who went ballistic over everything. Anyway, this one he should have. Miami retakes the lead, 24-20. With 4:42 left, Carolina after a defensive hold on Miami. Bryce to Legette for 24. 4th and 5 at the Miami 33. Bryce to Jimmy Horn Jr. for 17. To the Miami 16. Trevor Etienne for 12. Bryce to Mitchell Evans from 4 out. 27-24 Carolina with 1:59 left. And then Miami from their own 22 with 1:54. Incomplete, sack. But they got all 3 timeouts, so they punted on 4th and 17. Carolina, 3rd and 5 at their own 32 after Miami used 2 of the 3 timeouts. PI on Miami. Ball game. And the Dolphins fall to 1 and 4. Carolina gets the 2 and 3. Chargers at the Dolphins. That was this one?
Yep.
Chargers minus 4.5.
Yeah, you're right in that range. 5.5 at DraftKings, anywhere between 4.5 and 5.5.
That makes sense. 5.5 works too.
Can't imagine.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, God, and honestly, I can't really imagine betting this one. Chargers injuries racking up, right? You got the tackles. Amari and Hampton in a walking boot yesterday. I don't know if I'm running to lay all those points early window in Miami, but man, the Dolphins got no trust there with it right now with this team.
If the refs don't give them that game against the Jets, they're winless.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't feel like a winless team. They feel better than that. Well, they are. They're 1 and 4. But you get the idea. They feel better than a 1 and 4 team. Yet every time you look up, they're just messing up left and right.
Because you can still see the glimpses of you know
exist.
what I mean? But it's overall they're just bad.
Not a good football team. It's like a quarter of the league that stinks. We'll come back looking for value. So far, Giants and Colts to me, the most so far. Time to bet. Coming back right here on Guessing Lines on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The numbers told the story. They always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 2 of a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM Channel 158. It's Gill Alexander alongside Kelley Bydlon, everybody. Hello, Kelley Bydlon. Guessing lines. I just made 2 bets. Giants plus 7.5 based on this exercise. Giants plus 7.5. Colts minus 5.5. Again, the point of guessing lines is interactive. Hopefully you're doing this on your end as well. But I'm in the cocoon. I don't know what the lines are, and I am guessing what I think they should be. And then Kelley is telling me what they are. And within that exercise, we look to extract value. Usually, the first reaction is the best. Oftentimes, there's exceptions to that, right? We had one a couple weeks ago. That wasn't so good. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Steve, New York Football Giants, 42. He says, up until yesterday, I always thought the Titans-Dolphins in 2023 was the worst Survivor beat. Miami was up 14 with 2 minutes left as 13-point favorites and lost outright. But the Cardinals somehow topped it. This league is something else. Oh, it's something else, all right, Steve. Chance Copperpot, had I made it to this week with Survivor, my plan was to use the Bills. Less bummed out now. Brutal. That is, by the way, Chance is citing a Survivor truism as well, which is when you lose or a hypothetical second time. So let's say you get bounced, but then you would have lost again. It does make you feel better.
Oh, it makes you feel way better. Yes.
The fact that I had 3, that I diversified my 6 through 3 teams and lost them all in some small way would have made me feel better, but the nature of the Rams and Cardinals losses doesn't, so never mind. But you get the idea. Dale, SD Flyer Jack, he says, maybe contact the one person in Circa that had Tennessee. This I will never understand. A person who took Tennessee. Wasn't it enough for you to let all those thousands of people lose on the Cardinals? You had to take Tennessee?
Well,
Makes no sense.
That's a good one, too. I want to beat that guy.
Makes no sense.
And Grandissimo Vikings guy.
Tristan Paul. When Murray took the snap to the head, I swear you could hear the Duke Nukem headshot voice echo through the stadium. I'm told in my ear that Duke Nukem is a video game reference from the 80s.
Yeah.
Brian
Foster, thank you.
Chris, thank you, Chris. Brian M. I feel like I mentioned this before, but in high school, when someone scored / down a punt, they had to hand the ball to the official. Otherwise, it was sprints for the team on Monday. Jack Hannon.
NFL teams might need to go back to that, yeah.
Jack Hannon. Can you clarify on the Texans touchdown? I think you're talking about the Cardinals touchdown, right? He goes, it looked to me like the ball broke the plane of the goal line. Did I look at that wrong, or am I wrong about the rule? Was there a Texans touchdown? I don't know. That game was so out of hand, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But the Demarcado, he was absolutely flipped it before the goal line. If there was a Texans one where the same thing happened, I apologize. Or something similar. I didn't see it. Brent Gorachowski. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Have you seen the first episode of Chad Powers? A situation like Demarcado, and you wonder how it keeps happening. Love the show. Thank you, Brent.
I haven't fired up Chad Powers yet. I will.
What is your big complaint with Chad Powers? Tell everybody.
I just feel like it's such an old man rant, but when we first saw previews for it, only thing they've been promoting it a lot, right? The only thing I couldn't understand was, is this supposed to be some sort of play off of Kenny Powers and the name from Eastbound and Down?
Because otherwise, why would you use the same name?
Otherwise, why would you use the same name?
That's so true.
I'm guessing they have nothing to do with one another. They are just different sports TV shows. But like Kenny Powers was such a well-known name from a fictionalized sports show. I don't know why you would use the same name.
It's such a logical rant. I agree.
Gill and I were walking out rant one day, and I'm just like, you think that it's supposed to be his cousin or something?
Yeah, somebody's going to tweet it. It's his cousin, guys. Someone's going to tell us.
Probably.
Burner, Survivor done. I'm done. So over it. Never again. When are signups for next year? Asking for a friend. I think that's how everybody feels. Bradley Fleming, Gill, lost my Westgate Survivor with the Rams and 4 of my last 7 circle with a combo of Rams and cards. Thanks, Colts, to saving my Survivor season, a phrase I never thought I'd use or I'd utter coming into the season or ever in my life. Love the show. Thank you, Bradley.
I'll take it one step further. Thanks for making it easy yesterday, Indianapolis Colts.
Yes. And one more from Trip Tepper. Given how the season has started in Baltimore, could A&G reprise the That's So Raven segment to lampoon their futility? I remember I used to do that. That's so Raven. Yeah. I forgot about that. Thank you, Trip. We'll get to all. I can't even keep up with the tweets.
I don't even remember how that started. But That's So Ravens.
I used to just say, because Raven Simone had that show, and Gracie was a little girl, and she used to watch That's So Raven. So every time they would do something stupid, I would say, that is so Raven. What's next?
Early window, Patriots at the Saints.
Patriots at the Saints. Patriots beat the Bills last night. For those who missed it, it was kind of a Drake May coming out on national TV party, I think, is a fair statement. Buffalo, first time they had the ball, 1st and 10, the New England 47. They fumbled as Allen took the snap and Knox came across in motion. Joshua Farmer recovered. New England set up at the Buffalo 47. Made a Ramondre. He's hit by Shaq Thompson. He fumbles. Terrell Bernard recovers. Back-to-back turnovers. Buffalo, next time they had the 1st and 17 at their own 7. Allen to Coleman, hit by Robert Spillane, fumbles. Jalen Hawkins recovers. New England would settle for a 30-yard field goal. They go up 3-0. It'll be 6-3 New England at the half. Second half, third quarter, Buffalo, 71 yards. Allen to Samuel from 6 out, 10-6 Buffalo. 9:21 third quarter. The world is restored. Not so fast. New England, 74 yards. Made a Diggs for 32. Beautiful pass. Sets up Ramondre for 4. Next play, 13-10 New England. By the way, I love the whole narrative throughout the show of, what's my girl's name? Melissa Stark, talking about how Diggs is now a leader. Diggs was like, I've learned to be a leader. That was like he acquired the leadership traits during this.
Yeah, this was the one coming back angle that I just didn't have circled for the weekend, Gil. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to the audience.
Yeah. Revenge spot.
Yeah, the revenge spot.
We made a big deal about that. 13-10, because he's played for teams in between, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. 13-10 New England. Buffalo matriculates again. 2nd and 13 at the New England 19. Allen picked by Marcus Jones. And that's when I said to myself, yeah, I'm not winning this one either. New England goes 11 plays, 90 yards. Ramondre in from 7, 20-10 New England with 12-10 left. But then Buffalo, 74 yards on a drive helped along by roughing the passer and late hit / unnecessary roughness penalties. Allen to Coleman from 2 out, 20-17 New England, about halfway through the fourth quarter. And then New England, after a false start on 3rd and inches, go 3 and out. Buffalo from their own 20 with 5:52 left. 3rd and 6 at their own 47. A massive Allen to Coleman 13-yard conversion and catch to New England 40. 2 plays later, Allen to Shakir for 12 to the 27, but they have to settle for a Prater 45-yard field goal. They tie it at 20 with 2:17 left. New England, 1st and 10 at their own 29. This was Drake May's signature play in a signature game. 1st and 10 at his own 29. He's under pressure. He stiff arms Daquan Jones, somehow gets it to Diggs for 12. Play of the game to me. 2 plays later to Kayshon Boutte for 19. Just a frozen rope to Boutte. To the Buffalo 39. Buffalo uses their first timeout, then Ramondre for 5. Buffalo uses their second timeout. Ramondre stuffed. Buffalo uses their last timeout, 3rd and 5. May is stopped for no gain. So Borahales has to kick a 52-yard field goal. Could he? I mean, it's 52. He could miss this. He bisects the uprights. Like if you took a tape measure and put the exact middle point of those uprights, that's where he put it.
These guys are good, except for when they're not.
23-20 New England, only 15 seconds left. Ball game. And then New Orleans, where he talk about 5 straight turnovers on 5 straight drives for the Giants. New Orleans wins their first game. Rattler was 21 of 31 for 225 in victory, but +5 in turnovers is all you need to know. I'll say New England -4 at New Orleans.
This is, say your guess again?
New England -4 at New Orleans.
Man, I was shocked at the line I saw open up. This is New England out to 3.5-point favorites.
Oh, I thought, based on my guess and the way you were winding up, I thought I was going to be way off.
It was 2.5.
Oh.
It was 2.5 on the open, 3.5 now. Patriots.
I don't think New Orleans is that bad is the thing. They're not good.
They're not.
But they're not horrible.
I bet this yesterday at open when it opened 2.5 on New England. That was before the Sunday night game. I thought it would be at least a full 3 New England. But I hear you.
Let's do one more.
Okay, early window, Browns at Steelers.
Steelers were idle, right? Steelers were idle. Browns were in Tottenham Stadium in London, England. Take on the Vikings. For those who missed it on the Pacific time zone, Minnesota, 2nd and 10 at their own 42. First time they had the ball. Jordan Mason hit by Alex Wright. Fumbles. Grant Delpit recovers. Cleveland set up at the Minnesota 47. Judkins for 32. 4 plays later, 4th and 1 at the Minnesota 6. Judkins for 2. 2 plays later, Gabriel to Harold Fannin Jr. from 1 out. Touchdown pass for Gabriel. 7-0. Brownies. 6:49 left in the first quarter. But then Minnesota would answer. 8 plays, 82 yards. Wentz to Josh Oliver from 32 out. We are tied at 7 apiece. 2:30 left in the first. Cleveland would lead it at the half, 10-7. Third quarter, Minnesota 71 yards. Mason in from 3, 14-10 Vikings with 11-11 left in the third. But then Cleveland would respond, 69 yards. Judkins for 14, 3-7. Ford for 10-2. They're just gashing this vaunted Vikings defense. Then Gabriel to Judkins for 18, to Njoku for 6, Judkins for 3, and then stuff. Then 4th and 1 at the 11, Judkins for 2, followed by Judkins for 1 incomplete. Gabriel to Njoku from 9 out. 17-14 Cleveland. 3:05 left in the third quarter. We go to the fourth. Minnesota, 3rd and 10 at their own 25. Wentz to Jefferson for 38. That led to a Reichert 51-yard field goal try. No good. 2 times later, Cleveland gets the ball back. From our own 41 with 3:27 left, Minnesota uses 2 of their 3 timeouts. And on 3rd down, remember, Cleveland is up 3 here. Gabriel airmails the 3rd down pass. An 11-second drive from their own 41 with 3:27 left, up 3. An 11-second drive. Minnesota then gets it back from their own 20 with 3:05 left. 1 timeout in the 2-minute warning. They get to their own 38 with 2 minutes left. Then to Hawkinson for 14 from Wentz. Wentz to Jefferson for 21. To Naylor for 4. To Mason for 2. To Addison for 4. 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 17 with 54 seconds left. Cleveland now out of timeouts. To Addison for 5. To Addison for 12. Touchdown. Great pass by Wentz. Minnesota 21-17 with 25 seconds left. Ball game. As Cleveland could not get it out of bounds on the final play. Couldn't get a spike in there at the end. They got all the way to the Minnesota 49 to Jamari Thrash for 22, but he couldn't get out of bounds.
Never in doubt, Gill.
Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh minus 4.5.
Yep, right in that range. 4.5 to 5.5 out there right now. I bet Steelers already.
Did you really?
Yeah, coming off the bye, Browns traveling back. We circled this one at the beginning of the season.
Gabriel's second start. Yeah. I had a lot of 4.5 guesses this week, I noticed. We'll see. We'll see how off or on I am with those. More guessing lines on the other side.
If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans, help is here. More and more Americans turn to credit cards to get by. National Debt Relief is helping qualified clients reduce what they owe. For many, continuing to struggle making minimum monthly payments could take years to pay off. National Debt Relief has already helped over 550,000 Americans reduce their debt by negotiating directly with their creditors. When you call, you'll be amazed at how much you can save and how quickly you can become debt-free. If you want off the debt treadmill, visit nationaldebtrelief.com today. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may qualify for significant debt relief. To find out what savings you may qualify for, simply visit nationaldebtrelief.com. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on the numbers game. Don't forget to check out the Sharp Plays, unmatched transparency with records updated daily, AI betting analysis, real-time global betting information, and alerts directly from the pros. SharpPlays.com. Here's how bad Survivor was. Hit a tennis play last night. Hit it 2, actually. 1 got on the VSiN Pro site. Couldn't have cared less.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I've still got that going. Couldn't have cared less. We get tweets at Being the Book. Jack Olaquire. Gill and Kelley guessing lines Monday. Our line is over under 2.5. Olaquire brothers in the house today. Take your best shot. See you soon. And yes, we survived the carnage with Minnesota and Indianapolis. Only got to beat 4,667 more entries. That's it, Jack. Good luck. One of them is Kelley Bydlon's. Chris Hartman. Gill, here's the medal stand for my 3 survivor losses. Bronze, Green Bay, Cleveland. Silver, Rams, Niners. Gold, Cardinals, Titans. How do such things happen? DraftKings had Tennessee at 30-1 after the fumble. Bobby Geddes, I don't know if either of you checked out the ESPN win probability throughout the game for the Cardinals. The Cardinals peaked at 97%. I heard Gill on Will's podcast say you would not have taken the Titans live at 200-1. Yeah, I stand by that. He says, I completely agree. I think it was more like 99.999%. Off in the dark, Eli Manning did a bit where he pretended to be a recruit and tried out with a college team. Chad Powers was his name, and that's the basis of the show. Right, off in the dark, we get that, but we're trying to figure out why did they go
that?
Why? Oh, I did. You didn't know that
based
part?
Off an Eli skit?
Yeah, based off
I didn't know that.
But why did they still? Why
did Eli go with that?
Why did Eli go with that? Right, CW Blue Jay. We talking baseball with Sporer later?
Tomorrow.
We talking baseball later with Adam Burke?
Adam Burke, yeah.
There we go. Of everything going on in your... I'm so footballed out.
There we go.
Sorry, Adam. Sorry, Paul. Of everything going on in your recaps, the Grover Cleveland of producers reference made me laugh. There are no sharps or squares in Survivor, just those who got lucky walking through the minefield blindfolded. P.S. Jays are looking strong. Yes, you're right about everything. Jays are looking strong. Survivor is nothing but a minefield, which really comes down to are the gods smiling on you or not? And yeah, Jeff Parles is my go-to announcer guy. Whenever I have a question about some rando announcer, I always go to Parles. And he knew Eric Collins. And so Wyatt Tomchek tells me that Collins was on the Panthers-Dolphins game because was Adam Amin was on the baseball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he was a substitute.
All the baseball shuffling around, I guess.
So you actually played this off air. When it was 17-0, just one example, 17-0 Dolphins, and then Leggett scores that first touchdown, he acted like the Panthers won the Super Bowl. And it was distracting. It's like, bro, really? What's going on? And it wasn't even those plays, like 2nd and 4 draw play for a first down. Same thing. It's like, okay.
It's a real special depth of the internet that you get into, Gil, when it's the NBA League Pass bros. You know all this stuff. Like this is because like the Charlotte Hornets, you probably haven't caught many Hornets home broadcast.
Not. Yeah,
you know a couple of these. There's just a couple different subsets of play-by-play announcers in the NBA world. You have Mike Breen, right?
Yeah,
huge name. He does Knicks games off to the side.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably don't know that, but like Mike Breen, huge name, goes on Knicks games. And you get some of these smaller regional coverage. Oh, boy.
3Jack H 3131. Gil, I tilled the Seahawks, Cardinals, and Bills like many others. At least we're all in misery together. We ride together and die together. ANG for life. Thank you, 3Jack. Brandon Webb. And now for a live update on those Jonathan Gannon Coach of the Year tickets. Let's toss it over to JVT, he says. Well, it's not only him.
Oh, was John on there too?
It's not only him. A lot of people have that. And Master of Puppets, I was super mad I switched my Survivor pick from Arizona to the Rams. Then Arizona's L was 100% worse than the Rams. That one was the worst in Survivor history. I agree completely. I said it at the top. It's the worst, not in terms of a pre-flop number, but in terms of circumstances of the game, it's the worst loss in Survivor history. B, one last time. Till next year, B. Sorry we had to keep meeting like this. What's next?
I can't get over this Chad Powers thing now. It's not even original, Gil? It's not even original? All right, Cowboys and Panthers, early window still.
Cowboys and Panthers. Cowboys, we talked about, beat the Jets. We didn't really talk about it that long because there really wasn't much to say. They just rolled them. Cowboys, Dak was 18 of 29 for 237, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Javonte, 16 for 135 and a touch. Flournoy, 6 catches for 114, and Ferguson, 7 for 49 and 2 touches. And then Carolina in that win over the Dolphins, Bryce was 19 of 30 for 198. But the stat line of them all, Rico Dowdle, 23 carries for 206 yards and a touch. Panthers outgained the Dolphins 418 to 248. And they were -2 in turnovers. Still beat them. Dallas -3.5 at Carolina. My guess.
Yeah, you are all over it. 3.5 across the board.
All right, next.
Man, some of the bets have been so bad, Gil. I'll tell you, that was one. We talked about the Jets late last week. I got so close so many times to betting it. I'm so happy today. I just didn't even bet it. All right, early window, Seahawks at Jags.
Jags, sight unseen. Jags play tonight against the Chiefs. You have a play on the Chiefs-Jags tonight, by the way?
Nothing. Can't wait to watch it. You're on the Chiefs, correct?
Chiefs -3. I'm
yep.
on, you know. The Seahawks and the Bucks turned out to be the shootout of the day in the National Football League. It was 6-0 Tampa Bay. When Seattle went 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 38, Milroe fumbled. Tyke Smith recovered. Tampa Bay from their own 41, 7 plays, 59 yards. Baker to Igbuka for 24 to start. White in from 7. That's Rashad White in from 7. 13-0 Bucks. 2:09 left in the second quarter. But then how many times have we said that this year? A kick return changes things. Derek Young, 43-yard kick return. Set up at their own 46 with 2:01 left. 10 plays, 54 yards. Darnold to Jackson, Smith, and Jigba from 6 outs. 13-7 Tampa at the break. Third quarter. Seattle, 4 plays, 77 yards. Closing with Darnold to Derek Smith for 36. Walker for 31 and Charbonnet in from 5. It's 14-13 Seattle with 13:01 left in the third. Then Tampa Bay, 9 plays, 77. Baker to Igbuka from 20 out. Perfect pass. 2-point conversion to Igbuka. The octopus. Oh, my God. How much does Scott Hansen love an octopus? 21-14 Tampa Bay. 7:52 left in the third quarter. He lives for the octopus and the origami. The man is happy with both. Seattle then. Darnold to JSN for 11 to start. Then to JSN for 53. 2 plays later to the 7. 3 plays later, Darnold to A.J. Barner from 2 out. We're tied at 21. 21-21. 4:12 left in the third. Tampa Bay then 6 plays, 75 yards. Baker to Igbuka for 57, the big one. 2 plays later, Rashad White in from 1. 28-21 Tampa. 19 seconds left in the third. You guessed it. Seattle then. Derek Young returns the kickoff 50 yards to the Seattle 49. Darnold to Barner from 7 out. 28-28 with 9:48 left. And then the big moment of the game, Tampa Bay punts. You didn't see that very often. They pin Seattle at their own 1. And then this is a 2nd and 9 at their own 2. Did you see this play? Darnold to Kupp for 9 off a deflection that looked like it could have been picked in the end for a touchdown. Then Walker for 22. Then to JSN for 22 with roughing the passer tacked on. 4 plays later, 4th and 2 at the Tampa Bay 21. Darnold to Torrey Horton from 21 out. 35-28 Seattle with 3:18 left. It's over, right? They look across the sideline. They see Baker Mayfield. Oh, boy. Tampa Bay has him right where they want him. To Igbuka for 25. How great is Emeka Igbuka, by the way? 2 plays later to Otten for 25. 2 minutes left. At the Seattle 20, to Igbuka for 9. To Shepard for 11. Touchdown, 35-35 with 1:08 left. But Seattle's got the ball, right? All they need is a field goal. Second play, 2nd and 1 from their own 32. 58 seconds left. Darnold picked off a deflection by Levante David. And when I say a deflection, I mean like off the top of the crown of the helmet and the shoulder pads at the line. And Tampa Bay is in business, set up at the Seattle 35 with 53 seconds left after a 3rd and 7 Rashad White 12-yard run. It sets up a McLaughlin 39-yard field goal. Good, and Tampa Bay does it again. 38-35, the Bucks win it. What a loss for the Darnold and the Seahawks. Darnold was 28 of 34 for 341. Smith and Jigba was 8 for 132 and a touchdown. But Seattle was -2 in turnovers, and those were monster. Seattle at Jacksonville, sight unseen on the Jaguars. I'll say Jaguars -2.5, not quite the 3.
Jags opened like a point favorite. This is down to Pick'em or Seattle favored everywhere now.
We'll see what happens tonight. That will determine.
We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah.
I jumped on this when it was still +1.5 on Seattle. There were some 1.5s out there yesterday, so I'm in on the Seahawks already again.
Yeah. Seahawks should not have lost that game yesterday, but they sure weren't stopping anybody.
That was a weird game, man. That
was weird.
One kind of like Bills and Patriots last night, right? Like you start off the game and you're like, oh, what a defensive battle we're in for, and then like all of a sudden it was second half explosion of offense.
Indy and Seattle both in your top 10 last week in power rankings, or just one of them?
I think just Seattle. I don't think I had Indy in there. Seattle definitely was.
Indy will definitely be in mine this week for the first time. I'm not sure about Seattle yet. I really am not. Are they one of the top 10 best teams? Defense didn't look like that yesterday.
I mean, that's what was weird. I mean, so far the Seattle and Tampa defense have been so good. I mean, that Tampa Bay defensive backfield, I think, is really good.
We'll get to Tampa Bay. But the Baker Mayfield thing needs to be reiterated. We talked about this earlier. I said 12-1 to win MVP. You can't have this many cardiac fourth quarter comeback wins and be ignored. It's like the Glenn Close and in what was the name of the movie? Fatal Attraction. I'm not just going to be ignored. That's what it feels like with Baker Mayfield.
It's just the classic question.
We're showing 18-1.
I think that's a little old. Yeah, I think that's a little old.
I think it's 12-1 now. Yeah.
I think the question you asked yourself, can he keep it going?
Of course. So far, so good. Coming back on a numbers game.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
The NHL season drops the puck October 7th. That is tomorrow, Kelley Bydlon. And VSiN's got you covered. Our NHL hub at VSiN.com/NHL is packed with team previews, futures insights, award markets, and our experts' best season-long bets. With new content and features rolling out all season, you'll have everything from Stanley Cup contenders to player props in one place. Get ready for opening night. VSiN.com/NHL. Adam Burke, responsible for so many of our future or betting guides for sports. Name the sport. He's behind it. I give Zach Cohen the nod for the NBA one this year.
I think Zach did, I think he did the vast majority of the work.
Yeah, but Adam Burke is the godfather of all these betting guides. He'll be on with us later to talk baseball and beyond.
I even threw my writing cap on for a couple articles. Yeah.
Did you? What did you write about, Kelley?
Alternate win total betting in the NBA, live betting in the NBA, and then I wrote up a few bets.
Good for you. Well done. We get tweets of beating the book, Todd Bubba Horowitz. After yesterday's beatdown on the Cardinals, I wish Kyler Murray would have chosen baseball. Well, he didn't flip the ball before the goal line, and he didn't pick the ball and fumble and kick it twice into the end zone. One kick, one bat. Fred Leonard's Vikings suspended Jordan Addison for the first quarter yesterday because he missed a walkthrough earlier in the week. Mind you, the team was staying at a Country Manor 90 minutes from London at the time, and that's 1 week after Addison returned from being suspended for 3 games. Is that why he wasn't on time? Because he was 90 minutes away at a Country Manor, and then they blamed him for it? They missed the walkthrough?
I saw a couple different things going around.
Dr. Bob got married in London at like a Country Manor well outside of the city also. It was a hike.
The one I heard, I have no idea what actually happened. The one I heard was that he had requested to go out or something like that. The team had told him no, and he just went out anyways.
He's like, well, I don't accept your answer.
Right.
Ryan Hyatt, Eric freaking Collins, riffing off Danielle Collins' nickname with Eric Collins, the announcer yesterday. Andrew at Fix My Chip Game, he says, last week I asked about Ferguson versus Bowers in fantasy. Fantasy gods made the choice for me, and I'm never going back. He's Dak's favorite target, and they have the Panthers, Raiders, and Cards and 3 other next 5. Good for you, Andrew. Chris Hauser, biggest takeaway from week 5, Callahan won't be the first coach fired. Chris, we mentioned that earlier. Poor Will Hill. He said if Callahan isn't the first coach fired, he says he's never betting that market again. Well, it took a setback.
It's a dicey one, man.
It's dicey. P5 Legends. Gill, respect your sportsmanship and perspective following your Survivor exit in week 5, especially given the Cardinals debacle. You are my nominee for the Hyman Roth Godfather 2 award this week. I let it go, and I told myself, this is the business we've chosen, unquote. That's right. Thank you. I accept your award humbly. Thank you so much, P5 Legends. Nash, last name Nash. Who gets more excited during NFL Sundays? Eric Collins calling a guy getting a first down on a draw, or Scott Hansen with an octopus opportunity? I'm going to go, that's a dead heat between those two guys. Oh, man.
I'm actually going to go Hansen in this exact situation. He loves those.
He loves an octopus and an origami.
Yeah.
Lives for them. Lives for them. You know what he doesn't live for? Making bad gambling takes. He's not good at that. Oh, and Paul Nelson reminds me, he checks me on the Seattle thing. He says, Seattle started the game down 2 secondary starters and lost Woolen to a concussion in the second quarter.
Yeah, they had guys dropping like flies during that game. That was it felt like it was big to the outcome, but...
Yeah, but, I mean, everybody's dealing with it, right? Everybody's dealing with injuries, but it's a good point. And why is Reek Woolen on the trading block? Why is this a thing? Del Mind the Gap Radio. I thought it'd be waking up to a Mike McDaniel firing. Very surprised. It's amazing that nobody's gotten fired. Primetime, yo, peace and love. Sean Payton's mastery of gut analytics makes him a first ballot Hall of Famer. Just a reminder that preseason number 1 and 2 in college football both suffered their second loss of the season by the first week of October, and both are not even ranked. Nobody knows blank. Mike Warren, check out the Seahawks defensive injuries. He said all 3 defensive stars were out. Witherspoon, Love, Lawrence. Love the show. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, look, that we talk about the Chargers offensive line. We talk about the Ravens defense. Maybe the Seahawks secondary deserves the same grace. Jason McKinney, dear Gill and Kelley, I'm joining the show late and hopes you've already covered the Cards-Titans game. If you haven't, can you please give us a heads up? I don't know how much more my sanity can handle after picking them for Survivor this week. As you know, I'm not a Survivor anymore. Derek Gwynn, I feel a little better after Thursday. Arizona was my second pick. I did take Florida and the Saints. So a few smiles. And on with these. One more. Vegas Sparky. With Nico Iamaleva's controversial college pass, that win over Penn State really changes things. Is he actually a good quarterback now? Was he justified in leaving? Or is this still his dad's doing? And will he chase more money next? Well, again, Iamaleava is built in his last name. But that was, you talk about, we're focused on the NFL today, guessing lines. The UCLA win over Penn State was about as shocking a win. Now, there's going to be some Penn State detractors out there be like, oh, I knew Penn State was nothing. Penn State should have never been in that game against Oregon, but still, UCLA had never led in any game at any point this season. Chris Valika, our buddy, the Bear, came on here Friday and said, lay the juice on under 1.5 adjusted season win total wins.
And I sure did, Gill, on Friday.
And you sure did. And then they come out and they beat Penn State in a game that, by the way, I had a in-game plus 14 on. And they took that safety at the end and beat me on that.
Really?
Man.
It's
not fun. It's not fun. All right, let's continue. What do we got?
All right, last early window game, Rams at Ravens.
Rams, Thursday night, extra rest. We know that story. Block extra point. Kyron Williams fumbles on the way into the end zone at the 1. We won't relive that. Stafford was 30 of 47 for 389 in that game. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Puka, 10 for 86. 10 for 85 and a touchdown in that incredible Rams loss to the Niners. Baltimore yesterday, it's not even worth talking about. Baltimore is 1-4 now. Houston led this game from the very first drive. They went 10 plays, 67 yards. Stroud to Xavier Hutchinson from 5 out to make it 7-0. And that was the end of that, because at 10-3, Houston set up at the Baltimore 41, Stroud to Collins from 10 out, 17-3. Then the next time they got the ball, 77 yards, Stroud to Hutchinson, back shoulder, 24-3. And that's just at the half. That's all you need to know. Cooper Rush threw 3 picks in the second half, 2 to Jalen Petrie, 1 to Kamari Lassiter. Final score, 44-10. I'll say the Rams, and this looks to be a game where Lamar, I would assume, you know what they say about assuming, I would assume he's not playing in this game.
Yeah, that's where I'm assuming he's not playing in this game.
Because the Ravens have a bye after that. We were discussing this on Should Have Bet More with Will yesterday. It would feel natural for him with a bye to then be able to rest for that extra week and then come back after the bye.
Yep.
Which would mean, and I'm going to say Rams minus 7.5 here then because of that and because of all the other injuries.
And also, I think you could use that same logic for any number of those guys that are on the fence, right? Like if Lamar's not going to play, then are you rushing back Roquan?
That's what I just said. Yeah, Rams minus 7.5. So it's like first of all, how's the guess?
Ding, ding, ding. You're all over.
Okay.
It's Rams 7.5.
So if that means the Ravens go to 1-5, let's say whether they cover or not, the Rams, the Ravens go to 1-5. You're not making the playoffs with that, are you?
No, you're not.
Because in order to make the playoffs, you would have the margin for error. By the way, your schedule does get easier, right? Because then after the bye, it's Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Packers, Steelers. So there's a lot of wins up there for the taking. But you got to get your guys back. So it's not inconceivable because that schedule is really easy. But you'd still have to go, a maximum of 2 losses the rest of the way? Minimum 9-2 the rest of the way?
Here's the problem. Ask me the question again. Not making the playoffs, right? I don't know who's winning this division.
Steelers are plus 110 to win the division. The Ravens are still the favorites.
Are even money to win this division.
The Ravens at 1-4, looking down the barrel of 1-5, are still the favorites to win this division. If you did it's a really difficult exercise. If you tried to figure out the 7 AFC playoff teams, if you try to figure that out right now, by the way, it's kind of tough in the NFC too. But if you try to figure out the 7 AFC playoff teams,
it's also a week where it felt like it swung a bit, Gil. Like Buddhist man, I'm throwing out my AFC hat. Give me the NFC hat all of a sudden. The NFC's feeling more powerful.
All right, let's give Buffalo. Let's give Indianapolis. You can't give Buffalo, Indianapolis, Chargers, Denver, that's 4. Somebody's got to win the North. Let's say it's Pittsburgh. That's 5.
Kansas City.
Then is Baltimore going to steal a wild card at 6? There's Kansas City at 7. New England has something to say about all this. Jacksonville and Houston have something to say about all this. You can't determine who the 7 teams are going to be. Very difficult.
Although I feel pretty confident in saying the AFC North is not getting 2.
I'm not. Because there's 3, right? There's 3 teams. So even if I spot you 2 in the West, who's the 3rd? The loser of the South?
I mean, I think there could be 3. I think there could be 3 from the West.
Wild cards? No.
No. 3 teams total.
Right. So I'm saying there's 3 wild cards.
You're giving me 2 wild cards.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 wild cards from there. And the 3rd is what? The loser of the South? Who doesn't win the South Division?
Now I'll go right now. I'd go Patriots.
Yeah, see, I don't think you can go. My point is, I don't think you can go any which way confidently on the 7th.
No, it's a fair point.
More guessing lines. And then Adam Burke, we'll talk baseball. 2 NL Game 2s tonight, today, day baseball and night baseball in the division round. Looking forward to that as well. We'll talk to Adam about that. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Profit X just dropped commissions from 3% to 1%. Let me say that again. Profit X just dropped commissions from 3% to 1%, keeping more of your winnings in your pocket. It's a peer-to-peer prediction market with competitive pricing, thousands of markets, yes/no touchdown scores, request your own odds, and improved live betting available in 40-plus states. Lower commissions, deep markets, and a smoother live experience. See what a 1% commission can do for your bankroll. Download Profit X today and use code VSiN to get up to $200 in profit cash in your first month. Terms apply. Must be 21 and older. See app for details. And Kelley, I'm not sure if you know this, but we will have the CEO of Profit X in this week at some point.
Oh, great!
Yeah, looking forward to that.
No, I'm not. I did not know that. Kid.
Looking forward to that. I don't know, maybe some other guests that I will throw on here as well. But Profit X from 3% to 1%. Check it out. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Paul Zhang. I need Kansas City -3 for a 6-1 average Joe Pool contest record this week. The one Browns plus 3.5 he lost. Oh, that's his one loss. Browns plus 3.5. Needs Kansas City for 6-1 tonight. We got a couple 6-1s on the show today. Mike Rouse. It didn't matter at the end, but did you notice? Yes, I did. Did you notice that Will Reichard's missed field goal appeared to hit a wire? How does the NFL allow this? Yes, and they ruled that it was inconclusive, but it totally hit the wire. See that? He missed a field goal because it hit a cable.
I did. There was a couple, nothing as big as that, but I caught another one where there was a replay with a camera getting grazed.
God forbid the NFL admit that a game in Europe had wire interference. They don't want any bad publicity for any games in the international series. Foos.
It's getting frustrating, Gill.
Foos at TKE 340. Will you keep doing the Survivor picks even though you're out? Asking for a friend. Oh, you mean the Survivor segments? Yes, I will keep doing those even though I'm out. So tomorrow I'll go through it again. The great Swami Gator, Swami GBR. Well, Gill, isn't it Octobox? Oh, yeah, that's true. He is the most excited for Octobox to begin the day. But then as it goes on, Scorigami and Octopus. Those are his favorites. Dan Groeschel on Thursday.
What's the difference again? What's the Scorigami? The Octopus, you get the touchdown, you get the 2-point conversion.
Yes,
right?
Scorigami is a final score that has never happened before in the NFL. Dan Groeschel, on Thursday afternoon, I switched off Detroit for the Rams in my only Survivor pool. Friday, I bought 2 tickets in DK's Week 5 on Survivor. I had one on the Cards and the other on the Bills. Survivor feels like parenting, all the superlatives simultaneously. The Auburnist, the answer to your problems is a tennis Survivor contest. Get on it, Circus Sports. Bruce Dobiggin, loved the Glenn Close line. 1-2 with Kathleen Turner in Fatal Attraction. You're not too smart, are you? I like that in a man. Was Kathleen Turner in Fatal Attraction?
Jordan, I don't know. I do not remember that.
I don't think so. Jordan Pagel lost an entry each on the Cardinals and Bills and way more upset on the Bills loss. The Cards loss was just such a spectacular series of unfortunate events that it makes for a great all-time bad beat story I'll tell my grandchildren about. A Joe named Jim, turning 50 at the end of the month, and I get daily reminders of how old I am. Nothing more succinct than what gets marketed to me between segments. LOL, I'm still flirting, lower T. At least there's been a break in the upside ad. Oh, he's talking about the commercials.
Yeah, we don't hear him.
We don't hear
Sorry.
him. We're not responsible. We don't hear him. Before we get back to guessing lines here and then Adam Burke on baseball, can I just update this Mark Sanchez story for a second?
Please.
So here we are talking about Eric Collins, or I'm talking about Eric Collins, but the biggest announcer story of the weekend had to do with Mark Sanchez, former Jets quarterback, who got arrested. Well, first of all, he was admitted to a hospital early Saturday morning and then was taken straight to jail after he was released. Court documents reveal that a fight took place shortly before 12:30 a.m. October 4th, that is Saturday morning, in downtown Indianapolis after Sanchez confronted a 69-year-old man who had parked his work box truck at a loading dock to collect used cooking oil. Video from the Indianapolis Marriott downtown shows Sanchez grabbing and throwing the man in an alleyway near Long Miller's Pub and Eatery, according to court documents. The man told police that he pepper sprayed Sanchez, but the former NFL quarterback just wiped it away. Thinking that Sanchez was, quote, trying to kill him, the man pulled out his knife and struck Sanchez 2 or 3 times, according to police. The man suffered injuries to his left cheek, was treated and released from the hospital. Police said Sanchez was taken to the hospital in critical condition, but was later listed as stable. The update to this story as of this morning now, and this from among others we get from Tom Pelissero, who says authorities in Indianapolis have announced at a press conference that former NFL quarterback and Fox analyst Mark Sanchez now also faces a level 5 felony battery charge, which carries a 1 to 6 year sentence.
Insane.
And as people are hilarious on Twitter, you know what the first response to that tweet was? From All About the U, he says, does he get credit for time served when he was on the Jets? That was the first comment from a tweeter.
I heard to watch this video.
I heard a story that Sanchez was doing sprints.
I heard that as well. I heard that from the fellas this morning. There was wind sprints going on.
Wind sprints. I mean, how drunk do you have to be?
I don't know, man.
To then assault a 69-year-old man, allegedly. Good God.
The question I have too is how messed up were you, right? Like, is this a regular occurrence for Mark Sanchez? You know what I mean? Like, is the crew always bracing for Mark Sanchez to show up the next day? Because he doesn't seem like that guy. Like, are they always bracing the next day? Like, all right, how hungover is Mark today?
It does. It sounds like these horrible stories you hear about people who are mild-mannered in their daily life, but then when the sun goes down, all of a sudden have this double life. Like, what are you doing?
I have gotten, I don't know how you received this story. It was, I mean, I think like a lot of people, right?
On the crawl during college football, crawl at the bottom of the screen. That's how I received
initial text message Friday night, Mark Sanchez just got stabbed, right? And you're like, what the heck?
Yeah,
like, this is crazy. And you're
exactly.
This is terrible. And then like I wake up Saturday morning and I'm like, wait, what? I'm all confused by the details. It's shifting like that Mark Sanchez was in the wrong, and then we get upgraded felony charges here Monday morning.
Yes, this story has advanced and continues to do so.
And it's all on video. That's why. It's all on video.
Listen, when Saddam Hussein was hung and someone had their camera phone out for that, at that point I said, everyone's on camera at all times, no matter what is happening now in the world.
It's also the only way, like, a story like this gets accelerated, right? I'm talking to Danny before the show. Danny was an ex-cop, right? It's like the cops show up on this scene. Mark Sanchez is over there with a stab injury. Like, you are automatically going to go, oh, boy, what happened to Mark Sanchez? We need to defend Mark Sanchez.
Are you, though? Because the guy is 69.
I don't know.
So that's the thing. It's like,
I think there's part of that. I think it's part of protect the celebrity when you show up. But then you look at the video and it's like, okay, undeniable.
Man. Next.
4:05 Eastern, Titans at Raiders.
Titans, we don't have to talk about it anymore. Ward was 21 of 39 for 265. Raiders, which we barely talked about, if at all, get crushed by the Colts. Geno was 25 of 36, but he threw 2 picks, didn't throw a touchdown pass. Was sacked 4 times. Raiders were -2 in turnovers. Raiders -4.5, I'll say, at home against the Titans.
We are Raiders 5.5, 6.
Okay. Sure.
We're not thrilled by the idea of betting the Tennessee Titans.
1-4 versus 1-4. Yeah.
I'll say it this way: if you were looking for an excuse to get out to Las Vegas this football season, I'm going to guess tickets are cheaper for this game than any other.
Tickets are available. Next.
4:25 Eastern, Bengals at the Packers.
Packers were idle. The 2-1-1 Packers were idle. Bengals lose to the Lions. There's so many blowouts yesterday, too. Detroit, first drive, 7 plays, 58 yards. Goff to Laporta from 10 out. Had hooked up for 22. The two of them earlier, 7-0. Cincinnati, a couple drives later. First and 10th, their own 3. Browning picked by Amik Robertson. Detroit set up at the Cincinnati 17, 5 plays. Montgomery in from 3, 14-0. It was 14-3 at the half. Then Cincinnati, first drive of the second half, 2nd and 5 at their own 32. Browning into coverage, picked by Alex Anzalone. Detroit set up at the Cincinnati 28, 5 plays. Goff to Gibbs from 20 out, 21-3. Next time Detroit got the ball, 7 plays, 80 yards. Goff to Laporta for 39 to start. Montgomery in from 8, 28-3. And then it was garbage time from that point forward. Final score, 37-24. A safety being the last score of that game. A game, or the final score was much closer than this game actually was. Browning, 26 of 40 for 251, 3 touchdowns, but 3 picks. Sacked twice. And even though Jamar put up a nice scoring line, 6 for 110 and 2 touchdowns, none of it meant anything. I'll say Green Bay, this is going to be a big spread. Green Bay minus 11.5. Somewhere between
you are light, my friend.
Wow.
14 and a half on the board right now.
Oh, I thought I was going crazy.
Actually, I think this even came down.
14.5, huh? Wow.
Yeah, 14 and a half.
I mean, Browning could throw 5 interceptions for all I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Packers off by, I would hope they look better this week than what we saw the last 2
rest.
weeks. Yeah.
Add the Bengals into that. There are some horrible teams in this league category. Actually, we'll list all the horrible teams on the other side. Get to our final games, and then Adam Burke on baseball. 2 games today. Looking forward to that. It's a numbers game. Still guessing lines right here at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The numbers told the story. They always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 3 of a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. My name is Gill Alexander, and I'm out of Survivor. Kelley Bydlon's alongside. He's still got 1 entry left.
Got 1.
1 out of the remaining 4,669. Here is the Circa Survivor stats. You're perhaps playing a Survivor pool in your neck of the woods. Very Willard Scott of me to say that. In your neck of the woods. How much of the pool has been eliminated? This is a 6-year history of Survivor once again from earlier in the show. Right now through 5 weeks, minus 1 game because the Chiefs play the Jaguars tonight. And we got Survivor entries that are on the line tonight. But right now, it is only the 4th most carnage of the 6 weeks percentage-wise. 75.06%. So even after this calamity that was week 5, we were at such a pace beforehand that this only amounts to the 4th worst Survivor carnage in the 6-year history. Last year will forever be the record. 98.45% through 5 weeks. That's just insane. But even the 2 years before that were over 80%, right? 2022 was almost 90% gone through 5 weeks. But this does top the first 2 seasons of Circa Survivor. 4,669 remain out of the initial 18,718 entries, and the intrinsic value of each remaining entry currently is at $4,009. It's United States dollars, Kelley, in case you're wondering.
Don't ask me about next week. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Look at that. By the way, 5 more people didn't enter their picks. Rams, Cardinals at the top. A combined, 6,676 entries just on those 2 teams alone.
The Titans guy.
Yeah, I don't get the Titans guy. I don't know why you do that. But he did it, and he got away with it.
I opened some story like he mixed up his Survivor and Eliminator pools or whatever, something to, I thought they were going to lose.
That's right. All by accident. And then in the Circa Grandissimo, 69 total entries at the beginning, 20 are left. Do I have those stats correct?
16? So it's under 20, right?
Oh, it's under 20.
16.
16
I think
left.
that's what I counted this morning.
$100,000 entry. There you go.
Right? Yeah. The
16
Lions, Colts,
left.
and Vikings backers.
16 left of the initial 69.
That Vikings guy had to have been popping bottles all day yesterday.
Man.
Had to sweat out that early morning game, gets that late touchdown. He's like, all right, I'm through. No matter what happens today, fine. I'll take this W. And then he gets all those, gets the Cardinals loss, gets the Bills loss.
Relying on Carson Wentz for your final drive.
Yep.
It's like in 2010, the Hilton Super Contest, Richard Stand ended up winning it, but he had to rely on Joe Webb of the Vikings to win in this final game. I remember that story was fantastic.
I can't wait. I mean, I haven't followed up with Drew at all. Drew was on here
took the
Tuesday.
Vikings.
He said he was going to be on the Vikings.
Yeah, Drew's probably still
alive. Did you text him?
No, I did not.
Okay,
I
yeah.
assumed he took them.
I assumed he did too, but I don't know the offensive line injuries were racking up for them late in the week.
Yeah, true. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right, let's wrap up guessing lines. So far, again, 2 bets for me. 2 bets, and I already made them. They are in the account, as they say. I am on the Colts minus 5.5. Colts minus 5.5, and then I am on the Giants plus 7.5 against the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. I don't think that should be 7, let alone 7.5. And the Colts is minus 5.5, hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Those are the 2 bets I made. We got more though. Still late window on Sunday?
Yep, 4:25 Eastern, Niners at the Buccaneers.
4-1 versus 4-1.
Let's go.
Is this a marquee matchup of the week?
Oh, good question. No.
Oh, it's not? Okay. What was the marquee matchup of the week?
I just looked at the next game that we haven't gotten to yet.
Oh, okay. San Francisco, in their win on Thursday night against the Rams, Mac Jones. Performance of a lifetime? 33 of 49 for 342. 2 touchdowns, no picks, was sacked once. 28 of 37 for 258 and 2 touchdowns. The second most yards in a game on short passes this season. Kendrick Bourne, 10 for 142. McCaffrey, 22 carries for 57 yards, 8 catches for 82. Tampa Bay yesterday, Baker. Listen to these Baker stats. 29 of 33 for 379.
He's amazing.
Egbuka, 7 for 163 and a touch. Wow. Tampa Bay minus 3, right? Can't be anything else.
This is Tampa Bay out to 3 pretty much across the board. You might want to look into this, Gill, because there were some below 3s.
Were there?
I jumped in on the look ahead. I think I brought this up on Friday. I did make 2 look ahead bets last week. Bucks were one of them at 1.5. I also bet it at 2.5 on the open yesterday. I don't know about you, but this is like $3. 3 felt like what the line should be even if the 49ers were a bit more healthy than they are.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners are a mash unit too, right? I mean, this should be the full 3. Both teams are banged up, but I think it should be 3, and it is. Next.
All right, next up, we have Sunday night, Lions at Chiefs.
There's your marquee matchup. Chiefs, sight unseen, again tonight against the Jaguars. Detroit yesterday, Goff in victory, 19 of 23 for 258, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Montgomery, 18 for 65 and a touchdown. He threw 1 pass for a touchdown as well. St. Brown, 8 catches for 100. Detroit minus 1.5.
Ooh, interesting. Detroit minus 1.5. It looked like it was moving this way. We are back. It hit Pick'em's a lot of the places. Open Chiefs 1. Hit Pick'em a lot of places. Now we're back out to 1.5.
On the Chiefs.
On the Chiefs. So I'm in on Lions already.
Yeah, I was going to say that could be a Lions bet for me.
That was one of the look heads I bet last week plus 1.5, but they're still available. And then I teased up the Lions as well.
I mean, you can't really read into the Chiefs' win against the Ravens last week anymore, can you?
No, I don't think so.
You can't. We'll see what they do tonight against the Jaguars.
And I don't know what tonight they're going to do that's going to sway this line or my opinion of them all that much.
Like I said, my bet on the Chiefs tonight is based on one thing alone. The Jaguars are going to commit 5 mental errors to give me the win tonight.
Yeah. I don't think the Jags are all that good. I think we're probably still getting... I don't know. I don't think this line's going to move all that much, even if the Chiefs win by 17.
Do we have a Monday night doubleheader this week again?
We do.
All right.
The early one here?
Another Monday night doubleheader. Early.
7:15 Eastern, the Bills at the Falcons.
Falcons extra rest. They didn't play this week. Bills lose the first game of the year to the Patriots last night. 4-1 Bills, 2-2 Falcons. Bills minus 4.
Yeah, this one, that's pretty much where it opened up. We're moving towards the Falcons side. This was 5, Bills 5 before Sunday Night Football. This is basically 3.5 everywhere now. I see a 4.5 at FanDuel.
So I was dead on that one too. Mm-hmm. Bills do anything that surprises. Like, in other words, the Bills' performance last night, that was just very. I've lost in Survivor on the Bills before. There was that 9-6 game at Jacksonville that leaps to mind. I just feel like this is always this team's identity.
Yeah.
No matter how good you feel they are, they've got clunkers in them.
Very much agree with that. They've gotten very reliant on the running game, but between Cook and Allen and a lot of short stuff. Feels like they need to find more of an explosive offense here again. I saw a couple tweets last night. Like, there's nothing analytically, statistically to back this up. But man, when we all thought Tom Brady, New England Patriots teams had the AFC East just dominated, they would still go out and these games like this win by 17, 21. Yes. It was just left them with no hope, right? And in this is a season where we've seen, I mean, what were the Bills to win the AFC East a week ago? Minus 500 or something like that, probably. Like, that's a game you just can't lose, and you can't give the Patriots any hope on the season.
All right, I'm about to ask you a question, and I want you to respond to it without giving it any thought. Knee-jerk reaction. Ready?
Okay.
Who's going to the Super Bowl from the AFC?
Bills.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah. The AFC's gotten weaker, though. Like, when we're talking about top of the AFC and top of the NFC, the top of the NFC is way stronger right now. And a lot of these teams you can make excuses for.
The thing is, the Bills will have home field, right? Because their schedule's so easy, they'll probably end up with the number 1 seed. But Chiefs, Colts, Chargers, if a full-strength Ravens sneaks in, Broncos, you still think the Bills are overcoming all those teams to make the Super Bowl? I do not. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think they have the talent some of these other teams do.
Like who?
Well, full strength Ravens, although that defense stinks.
I can't make like a huge argument for the Bills right now, but who am I going up against? Who am I supposed to be terrified of?
I wouldn't use the word terrifying, but you don't think like the Colts and the Broncos and Mahomes? I mean, it's still Mahomes.
I mean, Mahomes is the number one thing, right? You start the list there.
You're not supposed to be terrified, but I would say the same in reverse. I don't think anybody's terrified of the Bills either.
I agree.
One more. Monday night.
5:15 Pacific time, 8:15 Eastern, Bears at Commanders.
I particularly love when everybody was hoisting Drake May in the Jaden Daniels category yesterday. That's hilarious. I don't know if you know this, but what was in a championship game last year? Easy, buddy. Let's relax. He's still Drake Maybe. Although that was a great performance last night. This is Caleb against Jaden. Although not really on this field at the same time. The first time these two teams met since the Hail Miriam from last year. Jaden yesterday, 15 of 26 for 231. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Call him Bill, Kelley. 14 for 111 and 2 touchdowns. He's a 7th-round draft pick. Way to go, Adam Peters. Debo, 8 for 96 and a touch in Terry McLaurin's absence. 4 sacks of Herbert, 2 by Dorrance Armstrong, who's been a revelation for this team. I'll say Washington minus 4.5 at home Monday night against the Bears.
3.5 right now. Bears were on bye?
What'd you say? Oh, minus 4, minus 3.5?
Yeah. We're hanging around in that territory. 3.5 at DraftKings.
Bears extra rest, yes. Bears extra rest.
I guess.
I guess on the line, you mean?
Yeah, I guess that checks out. They're kind of taking money this morning, too. This is coming down.
I don't see why. That, to me, again, going back to that question that Will asked last night, what was the biggest sort of story? To me, it was the underrated story of, oh, looky here. Jaden's back. Things look pretty good. A lot better than they did without him. Even though Mariota was great in his absence, there's just something about having Jaden playing. Always making the right decision. Everybody gets elevated.